My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. This is the most magical podcast on earth as part of the Secret Recordings Network. We are here with brand new episodes every other week. However, please subscribe to the podcast because our next episode, there will be another episode in a fortnight, but it might be a little bit late. It might even be a little bit early. So there will be another episode in a couple of weeks' time, but I'm telling you now to subscribe because on the next episode of the podcast, I have got some rather big news. A huge announcement. Big announcement. So I'll tell you more about that on the next episode. So hit that subscribe button wherever you're getting the podcast from so it will land when the next one comes out in about 2 weeks. Also follow us on the socials as well. @PodMagical is where we are. And you can send your questions. If you want to be a podcast guest, let me know. Send me a message. If you've got any questions about planning, send me a message. Let me know. Sue would like a recommendation. Andy, just myself and my husband going next year to Walt Disney World. We'd love to do a character meal, but which ones are the best just for a couple of adults? Would you recommend a character meal for just a couple of adults? Yes, definitely recommend a character meal for just a couple of adults. You probably want to stay away from the buffets because they can be a little bit hectic. So just as I would advise, if you're going with a toddler, stay away from buffets so that the characters will come to you, but the food comes to you. But I'm saying just for 2 adults, if you can push the budget, I'm a huge fan of Topolino's Terrace, the breakfast there. If you can make it late, so it's more of a brunchy, maybe even lunchtime, I think Topolino's Terrace, you will meet Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy dressed in their artistic best. The food's really good as well. You get the bread sharer. I always like the steak up there because I think that's better value for money. And you know what? Have yourself a mimosa. And there's great views up there. So I think for 2 adults, my personal recommendation, if you want to do a character buffet, Topolino's Terrace. Definitely stay away from the actual buffets, though. Character meals, Topolino's Terrace, just not the buffets like Chef Mickey's. And I like Tusker House. Can be a bit crazy, though. Any questions that you have, drop me a message @PodMagical. Not just one guest, but 2 guests on this podcast. I hope they know each other. Let's say hello to Chloe and Nick. Do you know each other?
We do.
Yes, we do. We are a couple and we've been together for 6.5 years.
Okay. And how many times as a couple have you been to Disney together?
We've been twice. So we went first time together in 2019 and then the second time in 2002.
And who's the big Disney fan between you?
Both.
I'd say both. Chloe's a good fan. I'm kind of been going back and forth for years, but Chloe's a big Disney fan.
All right, so you've both been quite a few times before you went together.
Yeah.
Nick's been a ridiculous amount of times.
Oh, you sound quite jealous of that, actually, Chloe, going, oh, he's been loads of times. He's been more than me. Let's go without him. So when was your first ever trip to Disney World then, Nick?
My first trip to Disney World was 1996.
Wow.
I remember the Magic Kingdom being a massive anniversary cake. So I think it was their 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
They decorated the whole castle as like almost like a big wedding cake, but it was a big celebration cake. So I remember that.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that. I didn't get to see it myself, but it's famous, the cake castle, along with the Stitch castle. Yeah. So were you just a little wee boy then, little kiddie?
I was like, I was about six years old,
right.
5 years old, something like that. Yeah, so very small amount of memories in a way. I remember being a Virgin Atlantic, with the kid backpacks with my brother running around the parks with our autograph books, getting our autographs from all the different characters.
And some things have probably never changed, have they, Nick?
Never changed.
And what about you, Chloe? What can you remember about your first time at Disney World?
I was 10, so I went first it was October 2002. It was all Halloween-y. We did I think it was still called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party back then.
Yeah.
Even then. But yeah, that's the first time I went. So I was 10. So I can remember bits and pieces, and I remember having an autograph book, and that time was much more about meeting the characters, and because it was all I was very starstruck seeing Mickey and Minnie Mouse. I couldn't believe they were really there.
Do you still get starstruck every time you see the big cheese?
Yeah, in a different way.
Yeah. Here's the guy who took my money. Here's the guy who took money. So what is it that you love about Walt Disney World then?
There's so much, isn't there, Chloe? It's just being immersed in it, in this like happy place. I'd say.
I would say mine is, I just love theme parks anyway. I love all theme parks, but I think Disney does it the best with the immersive experiences and the theming. And every time we go, I go on a ride, and I just can't believe that they've made the rides they've made. The first time I went on Rise of the Resistance, I was just like, I cannot believe this is real.
I love how they've created films out of the rides, like Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. You know, that's incredible that they've been able to make a film from a ride that they just built by the Imagineers.
Yeah. And like you said, Jungle Cruise as well, and Haunted Mansion. Yeah. Although the Muppets Haunted Mansion from Disney Plus a few years ago has been the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Anything Muppets is better than the original version.
Now, I'm talking to you now, and like literally in a matter of days, you're going to be going back to Disney World on your next trip.
Yes.
So talk me through it, because you're going to be immersed into Christmas now when you go. What have you got planned? Where are you staying? Tell me everything.
Chloe is like the best planner out there for trips and making the trips work.
Right.
So I'll happily hand over to Chloe.
Is this what you do on holiday, Nick? You go, right, I'll just turn up at the airport and just tell me what's going on.
I would say, though, it is thanks to Nick's mum and dad that we've been able to go so often, because they're in Disney Vacation Club.
Okay, right. So
we're lucky to go and stay in, DVC rooms and stuff. So this time we're staying in a treehouse villa, one of the DVC treehouse villas at Saratoga Springs.
Oh, my jaw just dropped to the floor then when you said that.
Which will be really, really cool. So yeah, thanks to them that we're going there. And planning wise, we've got Moonlight Magic at Animal Kingdom, which we're really looking forward to, which is one of the DVC type evenings they put on.
That's going to be good. At all the parks, aren't we? We're going to go to all the parks.
Yeah, going to all of the parks.
We can never go to Walt Disney World without going to the water parks. So Blizzard Beach is open.
We've also got a reservation at Space 220, which we're really excited about.
Oh, cool. The restaurant or the lounge?
The restaurant.
Although they're both technically the same, aren't they? And are you going to do either of the Christmas parties which are now on? So either Mickey's Very Merry or Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios?
No, we're not. Because we've got Moonlight Magic, and then we're going to make the most of another evening in Epcot for the extended evening hours. We're not going to do the Christmas parties. And we have... Nick, have you done the Christmas party?
Yeah, I can't remember what they used to be called. We've done a few different ones over the years with the Christmas party. Brilliant. They're great fun.
But of course, you will still have all the other Christmas things going on, like the gingerbread houses in the hotels, and there's new things at Hollywood Studios anyway with carolers and elves and things.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited to see the gingerbread house at Grand Floridian.
I can smell that now as soon as you said it. So along with Space 220, what other restaurant reservations have you managed to get?
We've booked in at Roundup Radio Barbecue in Hollywood Studios. We've had mixed reviews about that. So apparently the food isn't amazing, but we both love Toy Story, so we kind of want to go into a properly themed Toy Story restaurant. Yeah. Brunch booked at Olivia's, which would be nice in the morning.
I'm literally looking at the spreadsheet of what Chloe's put together. The Kona Cafe.
Oh, wow.
Ogre's Cantina.
Cafe. We're going to do that after a morning at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, wow. You really have done all the reservations, haven't you? There's a list of them. I'm going to be going to all of them. Which is your favourite restaurant at Walt Disney World then?
Favourite restaurant? I really like Yak and Yeti. That has been, I think it's been upgraded or improved over the years, and that's a really good restaurant to go to. So definitely recommend that one.
I would say the same. I think last time we went to Yak and Yeti, we were really impressed by it. The food was really, really good. And we also really enjoyed Liberty Tree Tavern in Magic Kingdom. And Nick was happy there because he got unlimited dessert. So we went to town on that.
Well, if you like that, the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue, again, I think they always say that you can have a dessert at the end, but if you want loads, just ask your server and they'll just like bring you one of each or as many as you want. So there's a tip there. I think if you like Liberty Tree, I think you'll like Rodeo Round at Barbecue or whatever it's called.
Going to IHOP. Sorry, we really enjoy going to IHOP.
So do you go off property quite a bit as well when you go there, if you go to IHOP?
We tend to, yeah. We do like to remain in the Disney bubble, but we do sometimes venture off to places like IHOP, or Nick loves to go down to Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, we used to do like a week at Disney and then a week down at Vero Beach, DVC.
Oh, yeah, by the coast.
Place there, which was such a good sort of chill out, after a heavy week of Disney, and then you can just go to the beach and relax.
And they've got a humongous Rondon shop down there, which Nick likes to go and buy all of his clothes in.
Oh, right. It's funny you say as well about going to IHOP, because it's not until you go to places like IHOP you realise actually you can eat quite cheaply when you think about what you pay at Disney, and then you go to somewhere on iDrive or whatever and you go, actually, this is quite reasonable.
Yeah. We always do that plan. I mean, we've booked loads of restaurants, but we always stock up for breakfast and lunch. So we don't end up spending, breakfast and lunch because we're making it in the accommodation. So then that makes up for paying, odd dining experience, which is a nice way to do it, Yeah, that's a good question. With DVC, you've got the kitchen, you've got the fridge, you've got the microwave. So like you say, you can make stuff in the morning, saves time as well. And then you can still then push the boat out and afford to have a sit-down dinner every night because you're not snacking in the parks. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And if you go to IHOP, that will fill you up pretty much all day.
Yeah, for like $10 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So do you venture over to any other theme parks as well, or you just stick with Disney?
Whenever I suggest going to Universal, Nick thinks we're cheating on Disney and doesn't love it, but
you are, technically.
Love Universal.
It is great. It's a good theme park, but you always go around saying, oh, well, you wouldn't get this at Disney or something like that.
Yeah,
really
I do that as well. I go, you can get away with that here. Look at the rubbish on the floor. Mickey Mouse wouldn't stand for that. I'm saying that Universal is littered.
I do love a big thrill coaster and thrill rides, though. So Universal kind of scratches that itch for the bigger roller coasters, like Velocicoaster and stuff. I love that kind of ride. So
is Universal on the list for the trip in a few weeks?
It's actually not. We're staying completely on Disney site this time. There is going to be a day trip to Cocoa Beach, but we are remaining in the Disney bubble for most of the part this time.
Ah, right. And how far away is Cocoa Beach?
It's about an hour. It's sort of is it just over or just under? I think it's just over an hour sort of drive out to the coast.
Do you hire a car for your entire trip?
We are this time, yeah. But we have done trips where we have hired a car, for the day or 2 days. Purely depends on the type of trip. If we've done the bus straight from the airport that used to be the Disney's Magical Express before they took it away, and you didn't need a car. It was ideal. But some trips we end up booking a rental and then having it for the week, so we can sort of jump off out to places if we want to.
Yeah, especially if you're going off site, because you can hire a car through Disney, can't you? So you say you just want a car for a day, and then they'll sort that out at your resort.
Yeah.
Is that 100%. What you did?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did when we just hired it for like the day. They literally drop it off at the resort, or you can go over to like the Swan and Dolphin. I think you can pick them up there as well.
Oh, okay.
To do it.
Having been to Walt Disney World since the 90s and the early noughties, is there anything that you miss? Anything they've got rid of? You go, oh, I wish they'd have kept that.
I think everyone says this, but the old fast pass system.
Yes. Which technically they brought back now, but you've got to pay for it.
You've got to pay for
That's
it,
literally what Lightning Lane is now. It's just fast pass, but it costs.
Paper ticket that you used to get. You can't. Yeah, bring that one back. That was great. Something like they used to open both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon during the same week. They used to have that open all the time, but they've gone to a bit of a phase of we're only opening one water park at a time. So yeah, I'd say that's something that I really miss because I do like Typhoon Lagoon. Yeah. Typhoon Lagoon is my favorite park. So it's sort of like I want to be there.
Yeah, it's either one or the other now, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is your favorite attraction? I've not asked you this yet. Do you both have the same favorite attraction or is it a different one?
I think we do have the same one, don't we? We both like Tower of Terror. I've watched it thing the other day where it was something along the lines of Mariah Carey was in a podcast and she said that was also her favourite ride. And then they talked about that Ariana Grande wrote an email to Walt Disney World to say, if you ever change Tower of Terror, you'll have me to answer to, because she doesn't want it to change to the Guardians version. She wants it to stay Tower of Terror.
I'll have to get Ariana Grande on the podcast. I wonder whether she's available.
Yeah.
Or Mariah, either of them. If they're free, they're listening now. Give me a call. We'll get you on. We'll get you a Zoom call.
I doubt they're up to much.
Yeah. Well, Mariah might be. It's her time of year now, isn't it? Maybe. Have you picked up any good planning tips over your many trips? What are your favourite tips that you picked up over the time?
Before I met Chloe, like my mum used to plan it to the same sort of deal as Chloe with the spreadsheet. She used to write down exactly where we're going, what parks we're going to, because it can be quite overwhelming, I think, when you arrive in that Disney bubble, and it is very easy just to sort of almost waste a day of sort of trying to plan. And I would say before you go, plan it, watch some videos, jump on this podcast, of course, and sort of hear all those top tips. But I'd say definitely go with a plan. And always take a water bottle. There's always taps that you can fill up. I know it's really silly, but just those kind of things where if money is a bit of a, it's like you've got a big family, packing your own lunch, taking a water bottle, all those things can really save some dollars where you can spend it in having a really nice dining experience at one of many restaurants that they've got at Disney.
Yeah.
That would be my sort of top tip.
Yeah, I think you do it really well. I think the way you do it, that's a really good idea.
We also like to break up the day. So we'll do really early in the morning, get to a park and rope drop a few rides. And then either a water park or back to the resort and have a chill. And then we go back to another park in the evening. So we're sort of breaking up our day and having a bit of rest in the middle.
Yeah. I find as well, I don't know about you, but like the first few days you are up really early, so you're rope dropping. So the first few days now we go, do you know what, if we don't quite make it to fireworks or Fantasmic, it's all right. And then the later you get in the trip, those rope drop mornings kind of drop off. You go, I can't get up at 6 o'clock today because I didn't get in bed till 11 last night and we were out all day. You've got to kind of like wait it as the week goes on, I think.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, it's definitely good to plan your days so that if you know you're going to have a late night, you can go to have a bit more of a chilled morning.
Yeah. What is your favourite Disney World memory? This could be going together or before you met. Those special moments. You can have more than one if you want, actually. Chloe, you can go first. Favourite Disney memory?
I've got, I would say, two. My first one is when we first went and I was with my dad, and it was when Magic Kingdom did the show at the train station before you went into the park.
Oh, I used to
and they
love
had all
that.
the Yeah, that was good. That was another thing they should bring back.
Yeah, I used to love that.
And I just remember seeing the characters, and my dad always says my eyes were like saucepans, and I just couldn't believe I was there and that I was seeing Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And I remember that very, very clearly. And I couldn't believe I was in Disney World. And then another one is the last time we went, me and Nick had been on Flight of Passage, but my dad and stepmom and stepsister hadn't. And watching their reaction to Flight of Passage was brilliant. They were just like, wow. And Glenda straight away was like, we need to do that again. We need to do that again right now.
Did they get off and go back in the queue and wait for another 3 hours to get back on? They did.
We did. We went back round.
Wow.
The queue was actually pretty not that bad when we went. We were pretty lucky. Our first sort of week we were there, it was really quiet, so we could go back on again.
And what about your favourite memories, Nick?
I've got quite a few, but I'll try and narrow it down to two if I can.
That's fine.
I would say one of the times that we went before I met Chloe, I can't remember which year it was, but we went over with my grandparents. I think we were signed up to DVC then, and Animal Kingdom, the Lion King show, where everybody's sort of waiting and sort of watching what's happening. And during the sort of the warm up, the attendants, the guys were sort of warming up the crowd, and they were looking for volunteers. And it was the time when, everybody had like a big video camera, recorder camera. So my dad was on that filming the thing. And all of a sudden they said, we need somebody out of the crowd to come up to the front. And of course, my family were like pointing towards my nan and my mum. And they picked my mum to come up to the front. So as soon as my mum was walking up, we were like, right, make sure the video camera is rolling. And they made the volunteers to make a sound of like an animal. And they asked my mum to make the sound of a giraffe. And I don't know what a giraffe sounds like. And my mum didn't know what a giraffe sounded like. So she made an impression of a sheep. And she had the whole crowd in stitches. And I think my nan's laugh was topping everybody else's. So that was definitely one of the things. And then second was Blizzard Beach, where me and my brother took my granddad on the family raft ride. So the quite big raft ride. My granddad probably being in his like late 60s at the time. And he was like, oh, this is not too bad. This is all good. And then all of a sudden it gets a bit faster, a bit steeper. And we went right up to the top. And as he was sort of screaming and sort of shouting, he lost his false teeth into the raft. And we were like scrambling around trying to get his teeth. Luckily, we found them and put them back in. But yeah, he couldn't believe what me and my brother signed him up for at the end.
No way. He lost his false teeth at Blizzard Beach.
Yeah. So I'd say, yeah, they're the two that really stand out for us.
I'm not surprised. So I'm going to give you your perfect day now at Walt Disney World. Now, obviously, you're going together. So we need to kind of like talk through this as a couple, how you both spending this ideal Disney World day.
I think we'd both agree we would be staying at Boardwalk. Right, Nick?
Okay, yeah, Boardwalk. Okay, yeah.
Would we both start the day with a run, Nick, would you say?
Yeah, a run or a walk around the boardwalk, around the lake.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, go back, shower, and then probably go down to the Boardwalk Deli and get a pastry and a coffee for breakfast.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you don't want to go to the cake bake shop that's now open for a $25 piece of cake, no?
Yeah, it's a little bit out of our budget.
Okay, all right.
I mean, if money was no object, sure, let's go to the new one.
Yeah, it looks incredible. But,
We'd either walk to Epcot or Hollywood, but maybe Hollywood.
Yeah, or I would say actually end the day in Hollywood Studios because then we can end at Fantasmic, which we both like.
Okay, so we're going to Epcot then?
Yeah, should we go to Epcot?
We're walking to Epcot. What we rope dropping?
If Guardians wasn't virtual queue, I would say rope drop Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you've got a virtual queue. You've got group number 1 because it's your perfect day. So you could probably rope drop something and then go straight to Guardians and walk straight on.
Ratatouille?
Yeah,
that's a good call.
Well.
That's a good call. So we're doing Ratatouille, then we're going to do Guardians.
Yeah, and we're going to get September on Guardians.
Yeah, because you can pre-select the song. What about food? Yeah. Are we eating at Epcot or are we heading over somewhere else for lunch?
Yeah, I'd say it's the Food and Wine Festival, so it'll probably be eating and drinking around the world.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, so from 11ish when the booths open, we'll take a slow meander around that. When you go, that massive zebra dome that you can get this time. I want to try that.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm going to have that.
I've actually got another spreadsheet of all the different foods I would like to try at the Food and Wine Festival. So I'm hopefully going to tick all of those off.
You might have to prioritise, put them in order of, what's the most important and then work down them.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to go to Typhoon Lagoon next. Nick would probably agree.
You want a water park now, yeah?
100%. I'd say go on Crush and Gusher. Yeah, definitely. Gangplank Falls, wave pool, lazy river.
Have a bit of a chilled afternoon at Typhoon Lagoon. Build our energy back up for the evening.
It's the first time somebody's actually used the water park as part of their ideal day. But then that's quite good. You're getting up early, you're going to Epcot, bit of food and drink there, afternoon at the water park. That sounds good.
It's a nice way to do it, I always say. You can chill out, you can lay in the sun for a bit, go in the pool, and you actually feel pretty refreshed when you've finished.
And
then are we scooting back to Boardwalk?
I reckon we pop over to Animal Kingdom because I'd like to ride Everest. And then we like doing the at Rafiki's Planet Watch. They've got the drawing classes
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm terrible at those, but I love going to them.
Memorabilia to take home as well,
Yeah.
which is nice.
One thing that we haven't done, Chloe, I know we said we'd go lunch around the world, but I think before Typhoon Lagoon, we'd scoot over to Disney Springs, go to the Earl of Sandwich, pick up an Earl of Sandwich, and then get the bus from Disney Springs to Typhoon Lagoon.
Good call.
And have lunch there. Yeah.
Yeah, grab some lunch there to take to the water park, and then from water park you're going to Animal Kingdom. And where we're going after Animal Kingdom, we're probably like dinner time now or evening time. I know you said you're going to go Hollywood Studios to end the day.
Do you reckon we should go back to Boardwalk, Nick? Have a bit of a freshen up.
Yeah.
And then Flying Fish at Boardwalk is a good
Flying Fish.
restaurant. Yeah, then head over to Hollywood Studios, ride Tower of Terror, obviously, a few times. We also really like Slinky Dog, and that's fun at night.
Yeah, it's better at night, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if there is a show of Indiana Jones, I'd definitely catch that because I love that show. That's a great show.
You might even get involved.
And then grab some...
Yeah, maybe this will be the year, Andy, that I get signed up.
One of these days.
16 times, come on.
16 times. And then is it Fantasmic?
Yeah, I reckon grab some hot chocolates
Yes.
to sit with and watch some Fantasmic.
And then you're going back to Boardwalk for the night. So are you going to just stop in at Jelly Rolls for a drink and a few songs, or are you done for the day?
Definitely go to Jelly Rolls. Maybe the dance hall as well.
Yeah.
Do people go in the dance hall?
I've been in there once. I remember when I was sort of 21 one year with my friend. That was good fun.
How long did you last? Because I've been in there and I've gone in and I've gone, yeah, okay, and then I've left.
Yeah, I think we were done within the hour kind of thing.
An hour. That's pretty good. That's pretty good going for the Boardwalk Dance Hall. Well, maybe on your next trip you could do this ideal day. Now we've talked through it, maybe we could see if it could happen.
It could happen.
Very true.
As long as you've got your reservation for...
Although Typhoon not open this time.
Oh, no, so you can't do it?
Plan foiled already.
No. Oh, never mind. Well, maybe next time. Usually I do ask you, have you got any trips booked? But you will be going in literally days from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting very exciting now.
Well, have a great time. Tag us in your pictures. We can share them and we can follow your journey. We'll be jealous.
Definitely will.
We will.
Nick and Chloe and Nick, have a magical day.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Bye.
If you would like to be a podcast guest, we are now looking for podcast guests for 2025. Yes. So if you're going to be on the podcast next year, maybe going over Christmas or New Year, give me a shout. Send me a DM at PodMagical. We are on all the socials. We'll still be here updating you things on all the socials as well between now and the end of the year. Remember to subscribe to the podcast. There will be another episode in a couple of weeks' time-ish. So it won't be bang on the date, maybe a little bit early, might be a little bit late, but there is another podcast with a huge announcement. So subscribe, then you do not want to miss the next podcast. Hit that subscribe button and it'll be with you as soon as it lands in wherever you get your podcast from. Don't forget, if you're going to be going to Disney World, tag us in your pictures over the next few weeks. Not a bad time to go over the next couple of weeks because it's going to be pretty quiet. Those couple of weeks before Thanksgiving should be pretty quiet. And then, of course, we've got Thanksgiving on the last Thursday of November. So that week really is going to be busy. And then the following weekend after Thanksgiving, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is going to be extremely busy, one of the busiest times of the year. Then there's a little lull and it picks up again just before Christmas. So next couple of weeks shouldn't be too bad. Then you've got the big Thanksgiving week. Christmas has arrived, as we were just talking about on the podcast there. You can go and see the gingerbread houses. They are pretty much up now in the Grand Floridian and everywhere else. Christmas parties now on at the Magic Kingdom. Christmas parties now on at Hollywood Studios, Jollywood Nights. It's the last couple of days of the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. That finishes in just a few days. The Eat to the Beat concert series, that finishes this weekend with Smash Mouth and 98 Degrees wrapping it up. And then there's a few days of no festivals at Epcot. Then it's Festival of the Holidays. So from the 29th of November up to the day before New Year's Eve, Epcot gets all festive. You've got the candlelight processional as well, which starts on the 29th of November with Josh Gad as the first narrator this year, 29th and 30th. So Olaf will be there. You can get the dining packages if you want to make sure you get a seat because it does get extremely busy. People like Whoopi Goldberg, Brendan Fraser, Neil Patrick Harris, Gloria Estefan, of course, Jodie Benson will be there as well. So it's getting very festive over at Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios and the other parks as well. So enjoy Christmas. Final top tip for this year, actually, because very different podcast coming on the next one. Here's a couple of things you might want to get from Amazon. First up, pin backs. So, if you buy the pin badges and sometimes they're a little bit loose. So just have a couple of pin backs because you don't want your pin to fall out and then you've not got the back. So you just put it in a pocket and then it cuts in. So get something to back your pin so you don't lose it. That's a good thing. And also, if you're going on Amazon, have a look at waterproof shoe covers. So rather than buying expensive waterproof shoes or taking so many shoes you've not got room in your suitcase to buy souvenirs to bring back, have a look at these waterproof shoe covers. I know you can get them on Amazon. I think they're called shoe skins as well in some places. Basically, they just slip over your shoe so you can keep them in your Loungefly backpack. When it starts raining, pop them over your shoe. They've usually got a grip underneath as well, so you're not falling around. They'll just keep your shoes dry and, more importantly, your socks, so you're not getting all wet. That is the top tip for this episode. There will be a brand new episode, as I say, in a couple of weeks' time-ish, in about a fortnight. Hit that subscribe button. You do not want to miss the next episode. Probably going to be the last one of the year, actually. But more about that in a couple of weeks. Until then, please stand clear of the doors.